Hey everyone, it's Chelsea from Painted Layers. In this video, I'm going to show you how to DIY 4 fall accessories for this year. For the first accessory, we have this beautiful macrame necklace, and you can probably make this out of things that you already have around the house. For this first project, you're going to need some orange yarn or orange macrame cord, some scissors, a comb, a gold chain, and then some jewelry pliers. My chain was a little short and I wanted that longer look, so I just took 2 gold chains and put them together. Start by cutting 6 19-inch pieces of your yarn. Now you're going to take each piece and do a lark head knot and just knot that around the chain in the middle. Once you have your 6 knots in the middle of the chain, you're going to take the 4 pieces of string on the far left side, wrap the string on the left, under, up, and through that hole, and then grab the string on the other side, wrap it under the 3 strings and around, and then through that hole, and then pull tightly. Then you want to use this same method for the whole first part of the necklace, so go ahead and do that same knot for the next 4 strings. And then repeat for the last 4 strings. Then you want to take 2 strings on the far left side, push those aside, and then grab the next 4 strings and do the same knot. And you can kind of see a triangular shape starting to form here. Now you just want to take the 4 strings that are in the very middle, so you'll have 4 strings on both sides, and go ahead and do that same knot. Now your necklace should look something like this, and the next knot that we're going to do is a diagonal double half hitch knot. So to do this, take the very top string on the end here, and you're going to be wrapping all of the other pieces around this one string. So you take the second string and you're going to wrap it underneath, over, and then through the loop. You're going to repeat this 2 times for each string. And then after you've done that, you want to do a second row of those knots on both sides. And now you just want to cut the strings along the bottom so that they're at an angle. And then take a comb and kind of brush through, use your fingers to separate those strings to give it a fringe look. Then you can take some scissors and give it a little haircut. I styled this necklace with a turtleneck. You can do something with a contrasting color, and this is just a great way to give your outfit that pop of fall color. The second project is going to be this really easy shawl made out of an old scarf. I found this in the Goodwill bin, and it's just really inexpensive. Things there are charged per pound, so this probably cost me less than $1/4 to make. To make this beautiful shawl, you're going to need an old scarf, some matching color thread, scissors, and some pins. Also your basic sewing supplies. Start by taking your scarf and fold it in half lengthwise, and then fold it in half again. My scarf is about 50 inches by 50 inches wide, so you want something around that size range. We're going to cut along that folded edge, and we're going to be very careful only to get the first layer of fabric. Now you can see that that left a nice cut in the middle. That's going to be the opening of our shawl. With the scarf right side out, you want to grab your pen and your measuring ruler, and 1 inch from the edge and then 10 inches down you want to make a mark, and then across you want to make that mark to be about 6 inches long. And here's kind of a diagram showing you what that should look like. And then just add a pin on both sides so that it keeps the fabric together and you know where to start and where to stop sewing. Then go ahead and repeat this for your other arm. Now we just want to take a straight stitch on our regular sewing machine and stitch from one pin to the other. And again, I accidentally did this on the wrong side of the fabric, but you want to make sure you're sewing on the right side. Now we're just going to finish the edges of the cut that we made in the middle, and we're going to do this with a rolled hem. So to do that, fold your fabric over along the edge about 1/4 inch and then sew very closely along the edge here. Then take your scissors and go ahead and cut off the excess fabric. Then fold this under again and then stitch along the top, and that will give you a nice rolled hem. This is a nice technique to know, especially when you're working with chiffon or silky type of fabrics. I think this turned out really great. It's a really inexpensive, nice project to make for fall. So go to the thrift store, try to find something that has a nice fall print, and then make your own. The next project is a felt hat, and if you've never made a hat before, I recommend you give this a try. To make this hat, you're going to want your cutting mat, some scissors, a matching color thread, some wire that's 20 gauge, wire cutters, a rotary cutter, an ironing board, and your pattern. Remember, if you want to get this pattern, you can find it in my shop linked below. Go ahead and check that out. So first, you just want to take your iron and iron out any wrinkles that might be in your fabric. I learned that you can iron felt, so do not be afraid. And then just take your tailor chalk and trace out your pieces, and then go ahead and cut them out. For the brim of the hat, I wanted to use my rotary cutter so that I get a very nice, clean, professional looking line. Now take the band piece of your hat and just fold it with the right sides together. And then just do a straight stitch along that edge there. You can add some clips or pins if you need to help you keep it into place. And then take your top piece and line it up with the front and the back of the band piece, and then clip them together. Then take it to your sewing machine and go ahead and sew all the way around. And now your hat should look like this. Go ahead and turn it right side out, and then we're going to attach the brim of the hat and put it inside the brim so that the edges line up, and then clip all the way around. Sew that into place. If you use a thicker material, you might want to take some small scissors and make some notches here so that the fabric curves more easily. So then after I tried on my hat, I found that it was a little floppy, so I decided to add a wire to give it some more structure. All you need to do is fold over the edge about 1/4 inch and then sew along that edge so that you have a little space to insert the wire. And I cut about a 60-inch piece to fit in here. To insert it, you just want to twist the end so that there's a little hoop there, and then it won't get stuck when you're inserting it into the hat. And then once you have the wire in there, just go ahead and twist the ends and then cut off the excess wire, and then you can just sew that little gap closed. I did use a crafting felt and it worked, but it was not as good of a quality as I wanted. So I do want to make this again and use like a thicker felt or a wool, or maybe even upcycle like an old wool coat or something like that. And the final project is this adorable crossbody bag made out of an old leather purse. And to make this bag, you're going to need some matching color thread, some eyelets, an eyelet punch, a leather needle, an 8-inch zipper, a marker, a zipper foot, some scissors or rotary cutter, your pattern, a matching strap from an old purse, a cutting mat, and a ruler. And you're going to need your old bag to upcycle. First, you want to take your pattern. You can download this for free on my website, paintedlayerstudio.com. Take your scissors and go ahead and open up the bag along the seams there. And take your marker and you want to trace out a front piece and a back piece. Then you want to cut out 2 strips of leather, 1 inch by 8 inches long. And you're going to take these pieces and you're going to attach them to the zipper with the right sides together. Just clip along that edge, putting the right side of the zipper with the right side of the strip. And you want to use a leather needle for this project. Also, you want to use a zipper foot, and it looks like this. This is an easy attachable zipper foot that I found online, and you just unscrew your other foot, take that off, put this one on, and just add the screw back on. Now this is how it's going to look when you put it on your machine, and you can kind of see the zippers in the way, so you can pull the zipper back and get that out of the way. And then you can see here how the zipper foot allows you to get right on that edge. Now I just measured the width of this zipper piece, and that was 2.5 inches. And I want that same measurement for the spine of the bag. So I went ahead and cut a 2.5 by 20 inch piece for the spine. If you wanted a skinnier bag, you don't have to add the leather pieces on each side of the zipper. You could just cut the spine to be about the width of the zipper, which is about 1 inch. And then put these pieces with the right sides together and go ahead and sew across. And I'm going to make sure I leave a little hole there so that my strap hooks can go in. Now take a marker and put a little mark where you want your eyelet to be. Take a seam ripper, go ahead and punch that through, and then make a little cut so that it's just big enough for the eyelet to fit inside. And now you want to take your eyelet, there's going to be one piece that's raised a little more than the other. Take that piece and then stick it through the hole, and that's going to be on the right side. And then I'm going to put the shorter piece right on top of that and grab my pliers and then just press it together. And then I'm just taking the spine and attaching it to the front piece and just adding clips all the way around. And then I can just sew this into place. I found that the leather was kind of sticking on my machine, so I just added some tissue paper to make it slide a little easier. When you're finished, you can just rip off the tissue paper and it will not show on the outside. And then go ahead and add the back piece to the spine, attaching it in the same way. Now I just bring the two ends of the spine together, and this way I can tell exactly where I need to sew so that everything will be nice and even. And then I just add some clips and sew across. Then go ahead and attach an eyelet to the other side using the same method as before, adding it nice and close to the edge so that your strap hook can fit through. Then take your sewing machine and just close up those gaps along the edges on both sides. And then you can turn your bag right side out. And finally, just take your strap hooks, put them through the hole and then out through the opening in the zipper. Thanks for watching. I hope that gave you some ideas for DIY fall accessories that you can make this year. If you want to see more sewing tutorials and DIY wardrobe videos, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video.